General Session meeting. Today is August 17th, 2021, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crawley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's see here. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those calling in, please ensure that you've muted your phone line by pressing *6. We appreciate your cooperation. Is there a motion to approve the minutes, pardon me, of August 12th, 2021, voting agenda, excuse me. Apologize. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for the August 12th, 2021 voting agenda and the August 12th, 2021 briefing session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Minutes have been approved.
First is domestic relations.
Resolution.
Good morning.
Okay. Resolution 617-21, resolution authorizing the state fiscal year 2022 to 2023 juvenile court grant agreement and funding application with the State of Ohio Domestic Abuse Services in the amount of $7,302,373.22.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director. This resolution is requesting the approval of the 2022 and 2023 grant agreement and funding application with the Ohio Department of Youth Services. The court utilizes these grant funds to employ 36 employees, and we contract with various community-based organizations that provide direct services to youth. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 061721.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 617-21 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the auditor.
Resolution number 618-21, resolution authorizing an implementation services contract and a 3-year software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies Incorporated for IS World Tax Accounting functionality in the amount of $3,555,000.
Good morning, Commissioner Crowley, Commissioner Boyce. My name is P.R. Casey, Deputy Chief of Staff, General Counsel for Franklin County Auditor Michael Stinziano. Our resolution this morning authorizes an implementation services contract and 3-year software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies. This resolution puts the Auditor's Office on the best possible footing as it begins its transition away from our legacy tax accounting system. By leveraging the data already developed and stored in the Companion Computer Assisted Mass Appraisal, or CAMA system for property appraisal, IAS World Tax is additional tax accounting functionality within the same CAMA system, eliminating the need for the auditor's expensive, difficult to maintain legacy system and complex data exchange program. By unlocking this additional functionality, the Auditor's Office will be able to accomplish most of its core statutory requirements within one system, reducing the auditor's technological debt while reliably and effectively serving the businesses and residents of Franklin County. This agreement was negotiated along with data center CIO Adam Frumpkin, who is on the line to answer any technical questions you may have. But pending any questions or comments, we seek approval of the resolution. Thank you.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 61821.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 618-21 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next is the Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 619-21, resolution authorizing the execution of a release of easement to American Elector Power Service Corporation, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, I can address this resolution if you like.
Sure.
My name is Cornell Robertson, reporting live from the Torrey Road, Swisher Road, and Saltscaber Road project. We're getting a little bit of rain, so I hope that doesn't interfere with my audio.
We can hear you good.
Also, very good. Also, before I get into the presentation of this resolution, I want to let you all know that the Boer Road Emergency Bridge Project is going very well. Our bridge crew set the concrete box culvert sections yesterday, and they went together very smoothly and tightly. At this point, we have not had any weather delays other than possibly today, and we may be able to reopen Boer Road ahead of schedule at the end of August instead of mid-September. I'll be sure to keep you posted. So for this particular resolution, the engineer's east maintenance facility is located at 4801 Hendron Road in Groveport. The facility currently receives water from a private well. We are working through the process to install a water line to serve the facility with public water. The installation of the new public water line renders a previous water well isolation zone easement unnecessary. Your approval of this resolution releases this easement and allows us to schedule the construction project for competitive bid. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, move for approval of Resolution 6/1921.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 619-21 has been adopted.
Next is engineer, and we'll continue on.
Okay, resolution number 620-21. Resolution authorizing the Franklin County engineer to enter into a contract modification with Moody Engineering Incorporated for general engineering services, an increase of $265,896 for a revised contract amount of $365,896.
Commissioners, as stated, this resolution is for a design contract modification with Moody Engineering. Moody Engineering is an MBE and EDGE certified local engineering firm and has provided excellent services regarding the ditch petition process. Because of the recent increase in resolving stormwater drainage issues across Franklin County using the ditch petition process, it has become necessary to change the scope of this agreement to include improvements for the Deaver Ditch, Mando Ditch, and Gulfview Ditch watersheds. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, move for approval of Resolution 620-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 620-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 621-21. Resolution requesting the Ohio Department of Transportation to reduce the speed limit on Halt Road, County Road number 265, Jackson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, before I go further, I just want to let you know that the view on my screen here of the hearing room is completely blue. So I don't know if that's just on my end or if that's going to create a recording problem for you all.
Oh, no, Dean, did you hear that? Okay.
Mr. Engineer, we are aware of it. We'll work on it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. I just didn't want to proceed and not say anything.
Great, thank you.
Yep. So for Holt Road, this resolution is for a speed limit reduction along Holt Road in Jackson Township from just north of Grove City Road to Big Run South Road. The Franklin County Engineer's Office received a request from a resident to study the speed limit on this road. We conducted an engineering study and determined that a speed limit reduction from 55 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour is warranted. If you approve this resolution, we will submit our study to the Ohio Department of Transportation for their concurrence as per Ohio Revised Code. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 621-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 621-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 622-21. Report second of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Hoover Road 2.04 over tributary at Grant Run, JAC-CR 262-2.04 Improvement Project, Jackson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $300.
This bridge replacement project is in the southwest part of the county in Jackson Township along Hoover Road over a tributary of Grant Run. This resolution is the second report for right-of-way acquisition and includes one property. The appraisal was based on fair market value, and we coordinated with the prosecutor's office. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 622-21.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 622-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 623-21, report second of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of a property abutting the Slippery Road Drainage and Simplified Bridge 0.97 Improvement Project, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $1,345.
This drainage improvement is in the northeast part of the county in Plain Township to replace a culvert on Schleppy Road and improve 500 feet of storm sewer drainage between the structure and the county line with Delaware County. This resolution is the second report for right-of-way acquisition and includes one property. The appraisal was based on fair market value, and again, we coordinated with the prosecutor's office. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 623-21.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 623-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 624-21, report ninth of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Morris Road at Babbitt Road Improvement Project, Plain Township and Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $12,000.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the northeast part of the county on the line between Jefferson Township and Plain Township at the intersection of Morris Road and Babbitt Road, where we plan to build a single-lane roundabout in 2022, utilizing ODOT safety funds and funds from Ohio Public Works Commission. This resolution is the ninth report for right-of-way acquisition and includes two properties. The appraisals were based on fair market value, and we coordinated with the prosecutor's office. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 624-21.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 624-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 625-21, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Complete General Construction Company for the Olentangy River Road 11.40 over Carhart Ditch and Olentangy River Road 11.62 over Linworth Run in the amount of $1,234,562.76.
These two bridge replacement projects are in the northwest part of the county in Sharon Township and the city of Worthington, north of State Route 161 along Olentangy River Road over Carhart Ditch and Linworth Run. As I've mentioned before, we recently put out for bid the fabrication of the precast concrete culvert sections as a time-saving technique, but we didn't receive any bids at all. Therefore, we incorporated this material fabrication in the larger construction project bid. Today's resolution is a construction contract award with Complete General Construction Company for the replacement of both bridges. We held a competitive bid on July 20th of this year, had two bids, and Complete General Construction had the lowest and best bid at approximately $1,234,562. Written out, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. Just an interesting numeric observation from your county engineer. This is a locally funded project. Therefore, our Equitable Business Enterprise Program has been implemented with an EBE aspirational goal of 8%. Twin Rivers Construction and Rath Builder Supply will be the subcontractors to meet that goal, and Complete General intends to surpass the goal by 3%, achieving more like 11%. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. I did notice the numbers as well, engineer. I appreciate it. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, move for approval of resolution 62521.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 625-21 has been adopted.
Thank you all very much. Have a great day. Be safe.
Thank you, engineer. Next is our prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 626-21, resolution authorizing an agreement with the City of Columbus and appropriation adjustments for the expansion of the Gun Violence Reduction Initiative.
Good morning, President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, and Commissioner Crowley. My name is David Ingram, and I'm First Assistant in the County Prosecutor's Office. This resolution, if approved, authorizes much-needed financial support to expand the Franklin County Gun Reduction Initiative. On behalf of the office, I would like to thank you and the OMB staff for your partnership and additional commitment to match the city's efforts, further expanding our initiative. Also look forward to sharing with you in the very near future our efforts to interdict illicit drug operations within the community and the emerging Conviction Integrity Unit that will review prisoners' claims of innocence. As we have all seen, we are on pace for a record-breaking year of gun-related violence and criminal offenses. This funding will provide additional resources needed to prosecute the individuals committing these offenses. As such, I respectfully ask for your support and request that you approve this resolution. Thank you.
I have a question. So this resolution is in regards to expanding the initiative, is for the hiring of 4 FTE prosecutors.
Yes.
Is that all?
Yep, that's correct.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
Okay, all right.
So Dave, I'm sorry, is it David?
Yes, sir?
David, you guys are working in conjunction with the city attorney's office as well?
Yes, so we're
And-
working together, but primarily these 4 positions will be housed within the county prosecutor's
County
office.
prosecutor's office. So are you working in conjunction with anybody else other than the city prosecutor?
No.
Okay. All right.
Any other additional questions? Hearing no additional questions or comments, move for approval of resolution 626-21.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes, and I just want to welcome David to the Franklin County family. I know you've been here a little while now, but we're really glad to have you, and certainly appreciate your recruitment by Prosecutor Tyack, and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you.
This is the first time we've seen you in person. I know I've seen you on Zoom a few times. I think it's the first time we've seen you in person.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know that. You went to CAP, right?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
CAP alum.
I remember you coming in, so welcome. I'm glad to see you again. You're doing well.
Thank you, likewise. Well,
Is purple
welcome.
tie, is that at Capitol, or do you just
Yeah.
like
Yep.
purple?
Purple is my favorite color.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution number 626-21 has been adopted.
Great. Next is the sheriff.
Resolution number 627-21, resolution authorizing a contract with Mark Gray Enterprise LLC for the removal and recycling of spent ammunition casings.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. The contract before you is a 2-year contract with an optional 3 one-year contract extensions. We have a lot of spent ammunition casings, and this company will take these to recycle, and we will get 25% of the proceeds from this particular recycle every time that we would send them out. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Any comments or questions? move for approval of Resolution 62721.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 627-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 628-21, resolution authorizing a consulting contract with Pratco for Safety Forces Assessment Services in the amount of $240,000.
Commissioners, this contract will allow us to continue our psychological fitness for duty evaluations that are done prior to offering deputy employment. It is an $80,000 per year contract, which totals the $240,000 is for the 3-year term. There's also some other services that Pradco provides that we're going to take a look at in terms of promotional services as well as employee development. We're going to review and see if those are something that we would want to utilize in the future. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, move for approval of Resolution 62821.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 628-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 629-21, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations and a purchase order for the return of prisoners.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes reimbursement for the expenses from January through May to our outside return of prisoner account. These funds are utilized for the trips taken to bring fugitives back to stand trial in Franklin County. That's $30,505. Any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I move for approval of Resolution 62921.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 629-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 630-21, resolution authorizing a contract with Armor Health of Ohio LLC for complete health services and a EHR system in the amount of $64,660,020.
Commissioners, this contract authorizes a 3-year contract with Armor Health of Ohio. It is for the inmate services, health services in the Franklin County Correctional Facilities. There are 2 additional 1-year optional extensions at the end of the 3-year term. This contract was competitively bid through county purchasing. The bids opened on February 22nd of this year with an extensive evaluation process from Franklin County Sheriff's Office staff with the help of county purchasing and the prosecutor's office. As you know, the new jail facility is expected to open next spring, which required additional services, which is why we put this particular service out to bid. Pending any questions, I would ask approval of this resolution.
Any comments or questions? I do have a question in regards to the duration of the contract. So is it a 3-year contract with the option to extend an additional year, or is it a 1-year contract with?
Yeah, sorry, it's a 3-year contract from August of 2021 through October of 2024. And then at the end of that 3-year term, there are 2 additional 1-year extension periods if we would decide to exercise those. So we could potentially go for 1 more year and then renew for 1 year after that as well, for a total of 5 years.
Okay, and then when you say complete or total healthcare services, can you just give a broad overview of what those healthcare services are specifically?
Yeah, that will be, it provides the nursing services inside the jail facilities. It provides medical doctors for general medical care. It will provide for psychiatric and psychological services. It's complete pharmacy. It includes anytime that an inmate would have to be sent to an outside hospital. It includes the cost that is entailed there. So basically anything that one could think of in terms of medical coverage that you would receive at the doctor or a hospital, this particular contract will cover that inside our correctional facilities.
Okay, I was trying to find it in the contract, where it was outlined, but I appreciate that. And you did say behavioral health as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Dave, does
And one of the things too, I think Commissioner Boyce asked this in briefing, just to kind of bring it up here. It is a full cost. There is no outside overruns, with the exception of the variable drug screenings, which have a cap of $203,000 a year. The full risk is taken on by Armor Health of Ohio in terms of providing day-to-day medical coverage. So, and we built this particular RFP and the previous one in that manner, so that the county had a cap on what to expect in terms of the expenses, excuse me.
Okay.
President Boyce, I think I yield to Commissioner O'Grady.
I was just wondering if it includes vision and dental?
It includes Kenneth Wilson County Administrator. It includes dental, as well as in Commissioner Crawley, it's in Appendix E of the pricing section. I think that gives you the best idea of the FTEs dedicated to each facility and the services to be provided. It also includes on-site ultrasound services, dialysis, laboratory is also included in this agreement.
That's right,
Well as-
their dentist is Dr. Smiley.
As well as drug screening.
I remember that now.
Okay. Any additional?
No.
Okay. All right, with hearing no additional comments or questions, I move to approve resolution number 630-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
I'm abstaining, but I would also want to make clear that when I asked that question, I was actually asking in the broader context in general. So just wanted to be clear about that.
Okay,
But abstain.
okay.
Yeah.
Resolution number 630-21 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce abstaining. Resolution number 631-21, resolution authorizing the termination for convenience of the complete health services of EMR system contract with NAFCare Incorporated.
And before you say something, before they go, I actually asked it on this resolution, not the last resolution. So I just want to be very clear. This was the resolution I asked that question about the run-out fees, just for the record. Thank you.
My apologies, Commissioner.
No worries, no worries. It's a technical issue for me, so no issue.
Okay, and thank you, Ken, for that additional info there on the previous resolution. But this resolution, in terms of terminating the NAFCare contract, the current contract with NAFCare runs through May of 2022. And as mentioned before, because of the opening of the new jail and additional perceived services that we were going to need, we embarked in the RFP to potentially select a new complete healthcare vendor. NAFCare was one of the finalists, but they did not win the bid for the continued service. So we need to terminate the contract with NAFCare for convenience. It will terminate on October 17th to allow the Armor Healthcare to start up the following day. This resolution gives County Administrator Wilson the authority to sign the termination letter, which will be sent over to him in the near future. And this is to, like I said, terminate the contract with NAFCare. Any questions, we ask for your approval.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I move for approval of Resolution 63121.
Yes.
Move in second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Oh. And I went-
You said
go
yes.
back, went-
Yeah,
I
you
went
said-
second. Now, yes.
okay.
Sorry.
Commissioner
D
Boyce?
distracted.
You said D distracted you. D. It's all your fault, man.
Was that loud enough, Dean? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and Commissioner
Yeah,
Boyce?
yes.
Okay. Resolution number 631-21 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next is Office of Aging.
Resolution number 599-21, resolution authorizing an agreement with Ymca Consulting Incorporated to design, facilitate, and administer a team building and developmental training exercise for Office on Aging supervision using DISC assessment in the amount of $3,620.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Amy Funk, Assistant Director of Administration, and joining me this morning is Director Orville Johns. This resolution authorizes the Franklin County Office on Aging to hire an outside contractor, RAMA Consulting, Inc., to design, facilitate, and administer a team building and developmental training exercise for agency supervisors using a DISC assessment, which is recommended by County Administration. Each DISC assessment provides insight to an individual's priorities with usable guidance on how to enhance individual effectiveness. RAMA Consulting, Inc. has experience providing the scope of work described above and have successfully provided these services with other Franklin County agencies. The services will be implemented within the contractual timeframe with costs not to exceed $3,620. Pending any questions, I respectfully request approval of this resolution.
Any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, move to approve Resolution 599-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution 599-21 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce abstaining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution number 632-21, resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with the African American Male Wellness Agency to provide programs to address the poor health outcomes of African American men in Franklin County in the amount of $155,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm D'Amica Withers,
Morning.
Chief Economic Equity and Inclusion Officer for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office. The resolution will support the African American Male Wellness Agency initiatives to improve poor health outcomes affecting African American men in Franklin County through several different programs. The $155,000 COVID-19 recovery grant will assist in providing the engaging programming. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, move for approval of Resolution 632-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
I might do want to make a couple comments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. No worries. I had the opportunity to participate in the African American Male Wellness Walk, a run this weekend, and I'm not sure what the count was, but I would probably estimate that there were, I don't know, Director, 10,000 people, 5,000? So
Wow.
20,000 people, and I realize I'm not good with crowd numbers, but I believe it. And more importantly, it was an opportunity for the community to come together with one of our most vulnerable populations. African American men are disproportionately affected by hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and a variety of preventable chronic diseases. And I think the message around wellness and health, not just in, but also mental health, is just such a crucial aspect of what this group works to accomplish. And on the mental health front, When you look at, so we went through hypertension, diabetes, obesity, all those things that black men are disproportionately affected by. But I would also say that prison going rates, dropout rates, suicide rates, all black men are also at the bottom of the rung or at the top of the chart, if you will, in those categories. And so when I think of this investment, I think of a way that we are working as a county to strengthen one of our most vulnerable populations in Central Ohio. And so participating in the Wellness Walk, which I might add that I came in third for my age group, in the thank you very much.
There were over there 6 people in there.
No, sir, there wasn't.
Three.
You know, I really don't understand. I work hard out there to try to run, and I don't know why I get all this flack. But I will say, two of the guys that finished, the two guys that finished ahead of me in my age group were classmates of mine in high school, and it really just was an empowering feeling to line up next to folks that you've known for 20 or 30 or 40 years and know that we're speaking a message to all people, not just black men. And so, and by the way, I would say there were 20,000 people out there, and there were people from all walks of life that, and just about, anyone you can think of was there and engaging and participating because they understand that we're only as strong as our weakest link. And so, so for those of you who participated, those who didn't, but those who supported, I want to say thank you so much. I really believe that we are making a difference. I had the opportunity to participate in the African American Wellness Walk in Akron last weekend, or weekend before last. And while it wasn't quite as large as Columbus, there were probably a few thousand people out there. And to see a movement that is starting nationally, that started right here in Central Ohio, says something about this community and says something about Central Ohio and our ability to lead and really change the narrative for everybody. And that's exciting, it's heartwarming, and it's encouraging. And so to me, this $155,000 is a drop in the bucket for the lives that we're saving. When you think of all the screenings that were taking place, one of the things that we learn that you learn in healthcare, just being in the administration here, is that prevention can save us literally millions of dollars. And so when we catch some kind of perhaps challenge, some healthcare challenge that signifies early on in someone's life, and we treat it with wellness initiatives, we can save money for the county in the long run. And so getting those screenings and those testings out there were just critical, and the lines were just long all day, and it was a beautiful thing to see. I really feel like this is one of our best investments. So next, I'm going to have my commissioners run with me next year. My colleagues, we're going to run together as a group, and we're going to really set the tone, run or walk, and that's the challenge. So anyways, thank you so much for bringing this resolution. And my vote is yes.
Can I just briefly say that, last year I was out there during the middle of the pandemic, and huge crowd. It was a great event. This year, we had, family got in the way. We had softball, and we moved my son into his dorm yesterday, so we were getting ready for that all weekend. And so we ended up not making it. But my brother-in-law, saw my brother-in-law on Saturday night. He's a doctor here at Gahanna, and he was telling me how, last year he didn't know anything about the African American Wellness Walk, and didn't know anything about it, never heard of it before. But then this year, he volunteered for it, and he was telling me Saturday night when I saw him how blown away he was by the event, and by one, the size of it, but two, just what a fantastic event it was, and how just how much it opened his eyes to just the vastness of the experience in the crowd, and just he just was like, he just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. He went from knowing nothing about it to then being immersed in it, and he was like, this is something I'll do every year from now on. So as a family practice doc, he was really impressed with the whole thing. So
That's awesome.
It's a great experience.
That's awesome.
I would just add, and I didn't have any comments, but since President Boyce mentioned the screenings and mental health, and people who know me know I am a
advocate for mental health, especially breaking down barriers and stigma in the African American community, especially with Black men. And so we could have all of the screenings for high blood pressure, diabetes, and all of that. But if we are not making sure that we break down those barriers when it comes to mental health, especially for Black males, then we won't be making a dent in high blood pressure or things like that, because we know that stress or behavioral health affects our physical health. And so I can say that this year, more than years past, especially with the African American Male Wellness Walk, there has been a real push to say it's okay to not be okay. And if we look at our suicide rates, we see the numbers continuing to increase for Black men when it comes to suicide. And especially with our veterans who know where the VA center is, but sometimes don't go because they don't have someone who can provide services who look like them and understand the experiences and trauma that they have experienced over a life course. And so I just want to say to Commissioner Boyce, I appreciate you mentioning all of the screenings, but I really take my hat off to all of those with the African American Male Wellness Walk who put it together, but talked about, getting people engaged, getting people to care about Black male health and wellness, and then talking about wellness in a very holistic way where we will see the impact and we'll continue to see increase in numbers every year for this initiative. So, I already supported this resolution, but very happy to do so, and happy to run with my colleagues in the Diva Caucus 2.0. And I would just say that I will be in a younger age bracket than those two.
Oh.
So with that, again, I support the resolution.
Actually, no. If I could call Deputy Administrator Bivens up for a second to the podium. If you could maybe plug our mental health portal. One of the things that I really love about being a part of Franklin County is that I feel like we really we take responsibility for drilling down into some of Central Ohio's most challenging issues, and we own them in a way that says that we are going to take responsibility to try to move the needle. And this is one of the areas, and I just don't want to underestimate the value of the resource of mental health services, because we've seen across the board that statistically, mental health challenges are at their height since the pandemic started. And so the more that we can do to provide access and resources, the more we want to do so. Deputy Administrator?
Thank you, Commissioners. About a year ago, probably even less than a year ago, right after COVID had been in the community at least 6 months, you as Commissioners approved dollars for this county to work with the consultant to build a mental health portal for this community. And this portal is a portal where no matter where you are in your life, if you're in your house at 2 a.m., if you're in your car on lunch, and you're experiencing anxiety or depression or whatever your situation may be, it takes you through assessments. And once the assessment's completed, it then verifies what stage of crisis or not crisis you're in. Then it gives you best practices from around the country to assist you, to navigate you so that you can self-drive your way in that moment until you can get to a practitioner. Because what we know is we do not have enough practitioners in this community to service everyone. So the portal is franklincounty.ohio.crediblemine.com. It is free. It is available to every 1.3 million resident that we have in Franklin County. We used a reliable consultant. Commissioner O'Grady actually introduced us to the consultant through our partners at NACO. And again, it has everything from TED Talks to breathing exercises. It's built for anyone from 0 to 199 years old. So again, it's franklincounty.ohio.crediblemine.com. I would like permission at some point to bring that portal so you can demonstrate it live so the community can see it. We've asked our business partners to launch it. We've asked our human services partners to launch it, as well as our school districts.
That's awesome. And would you give us maybe some postable postings so that we can put it out through our own social media mechanisms?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, and resolution number 632-21 has been adopted.
thank you.
Thank you,
Economic,
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tamika.
Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 633-21, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with the YMCA of Central Ohio for its relocation project services to relocate 400 residents from its 40 West Long Street facility in the amount of $132,500.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snapp, Assistant Director at Economic Development and Planning. The primary goal of this resolution for the YMCA relocation project is to relocate all residents from its 40 West Long Street facility. This facility currently holds 403 single-room units, which average 100 to 250 square feet of living space in dorm-like conditions. The YMCA has deemed that 40 West Long Street is beyond repair and is more fiscally sustainable to relocate the men from these units than to update and rehabilitate the units. In addition, the quality of life for its residents will be improved in newer and better housing options. Under this agreement, the YMCA of Central Ohio will be hiring the consultant services of Rosetta Brown from R.H. Brown and Company. R.H. Brown and Company will be assisting in relocating up to 400 tenants from its 40 West Long Street facility. Ms. Brown has over 20 years in the housing industry and has provided resident relocation and property management training services to agencies throughout the state of Ohio and nationally. R.H. Brown and Company is a 100% minority-owned, women-owned company located in Gahanna, Ohio. This agreement is funded from general fund dollars. The total cost of the project is $265,000. Half will be funded by the city of Columbus, with the other half from Franklin County. I would also like to point out here, Commissioners, that I really see this as phase one of the relocation project for the YMCA. Vivian Turner from JFS and I are working with the YMCA to also craft a contract using U.S. Treasury emergency rental assistance dollars to assist the men in the Long Street shelter with rental and utility assistance. Thank you to both the prosecutor's office, specifically Paul Feast, and Jonathan Drake, Economic Development and Planning, and Team YMCA for assisting in turning this contract around so quickly. Sue Darby, Senior Vice President of Housing at the YMCA of Central Ohio, is in attendance, and she would like to provide some additional comments.
Good morning, Commissioners. We, as you know, we've been in that building at 40 West Long for nearly 100 years now, which is amazing. But due to its age, it's just had substantial resources. It needed substantial resources to maintain and repair, and it has resulted in financial deficit for several years now. And our first priority at the Y is to provide the highest quality of life for the 400 men located at 40 West. And as mentioned, the current single room occupancy situation is just not the best. It has shared bathrooms. We do not have kitchen access. And so we view this as a juncture, as an opportunity to be able to decide and to partner with developers to reestablish a higher quality of care for the men that we serve at 40 West. Now, with this deteriorating building, the relocation process has to include a move to probably a temporary hotel, which was also mentioned, before moving into permanent housing. And to ensure the mental and physical needs of each resident are met during both the temporary and permanent move, our relocation and housing expert, Rosetta Brown, will be needed to ensure that this is done in the most proper way and is vital to the project's success. The total cost of relocating 400 men is $265,000. As mentioned, this resolution reflects half of this amount, with the other half covered by a city request. And I am open for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. First of all, I talked to Tony about this, and I'm really excited to support this conversation is long overdue, long overdue. But I also have expressed a very important interest in that building itself, long-term. And I just want to say I'm supporting this resolution, but I really want to push the conversation along about how to address the long-term use of that building. And there's an opportunity to do some workforce housing there and some real strategic development. That's a very strategic location. And so I'm supporting this, but with the caveat that we've got to have some real in-depth conversations about that site itself because it's so dramatically complicated. And the sooner the better. I think we've got a meeting, maybe today. Maybe I have a meeting today with some groups to talk about it. But I do want to be on the record because I do think Franklin County should be very engaged one way or another in the redevelopment of that site for some long-term purposes, and again, workforce housing or affordable housing, and on some level, in such a key component downtown where we have practically none, I think would be a worthwhile conversation. So, and we've had that conversation. I'm hopeful that picks up.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, I move for approval of Resolution 63321.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 633-21 has been adopted.
Thank you,
Resolution number 634-21. Resolution authorizing a grant agreement with the Legal Aid Society of Columbus to provide legal assistance to tenants facing eviction in Franklin County in the amount of $400,000.
Commissioners, again, Jenny Snack, Assistant Director at Franklin County Economic Development and Planning. The county, through the U.S. Treasury Emergency Rental Assistance Program, desires to provide funding to various programs to both reduce eviction frequency and provide meaningful assistance to families and individuals. The challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic have demonstrated that renters in the county facing the threat of eviction are in need, now more than ever, of legal assistance to help them navigate the court system, negotiate time with their landlords in order to apply for and obtain rental assistance, and understand their rights and obligations. The primary goal of this contract is for Legal Aid Society of Columbus to assist tenants facing eviction with legal assistance to effectively utilize emergency rental assistance funds to protect their legal rights and to prevent homelessness by hiring 3 full-time attorneys to ensure adequate representation in the court system to prevent credit-damaging eviction actions. Legal Aid will work with their already vast network to determine and locate eligible clients who may be at risk of eviction and work with various community partners to reach out to and negotiate with lawyers and landlords who have already filed at Franklin County Municipal Court. The Legal Society of Columbus will be working with Franklin County residents, various community partners and organizations, landlords, local attorneys, and the Franklin County Municipal Court system. Commissioners, I'd like to point out here that this is really the underlying core of the onion we are setting up here with the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Legal Aid will be working with all the subrecipients that we are funding with the Emergency Rental Assistance Funds by providing a vast referral network to and from other agencies. Under this contract, the Legal Aid Society of Columbus will hire 3 full-time attorneys for a period of 16 months to assist clients at or below 80% of the area median income. I should also point out here that the contract itself is for $400,000. I want to thank both the prosecutor's office, specifically Paul Feast, Jonathan Drake at Economic Development and Planning, Team Legal Aid, Vivian Turner, Assistant Director at Job and Family Services, who's my partner in the ERA administration, and Mike Cochran for assisting with this project. Kate McGarvey, CEO of the Legal Aid Society of Columbus, is in attendance and would like to make a few comments. But I should also point out that Job and Family Services has an additional companion contract following this particular contract. Thank you. Kate, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Jenny, and thanks so much for the opportunity to speak today. As I think you all know, the Legal Aid Society of Columbus is a nonprofit organization that provides civil legal aid and advocacy to combat unfairness and injustice and to help people rise out of poverty. In 2020, we handled 9,600 cases, which impacted over 22,000 people. A lot of that work, although certainly not all, was in the housing arena. We've had our Tenant Advocacy Project, or TAP as we call it, since 2017, and that really expanded our capacity to serve tenants facing eviction. It allows us to have attorneys, both our staff and also our pro bono network, down at court every day. And while our information appears on eviction summons, many tenants facing eviction are still not aware that free legal representation may be available to them. And so the presence of multiple attorneys at court, ready and able every day, has greatly expanded tenant access to legal representation. It also allows us to connect with other community partners. It's allowed eviction court to become somewhat of a community court with legal aid, impact, mediation services, job and family services, and others all down at the same location to try to get tenants the resources that they need to stay housed. And it's been successful. In the 9.5 months of 2020 that Franklin County Municipal Court held eviction hearings, we assisted 1,368 Franklin County families, and 1,074 of those families, or 78.5%, obtained or maintained stable housing. A survey of our eviction settlement agreements found that tenants represented by TAP paid less money to their landlords by about $463 each than unrepresented tenants. It also found that of those who did have to move, they had longer to look for housing, or to fewer days in shelter by about 12.5 days, because we were able to negotiate additional time. That same data shows that about 25% of tenants served by the TAP project lived in Franklin County zip codes that were outside of Columbus. About 60% of all the tenants who requested assistance self-identified as Black. In contrast, only about 24% of Franklin County residents who are Black, meaning that Black tenants are disproportionately summoned to eviction court. Children are also disproportionately impacted by evictions. In 2019, TAP's clients reported housing a total of 2,028 children, or about 1.25 children per household. While evictions have continued throughout the pandemic, we expect them to increase with the court's decision not to implement the new CDC moratorium in Franklin County. In fact, the last 2 weeks of July had 2 of the 3 highest weekly eviction filing rates for 2021, up to 506 evictions and 468 filings for those 2 weeks. And sadly, we anticipate those numbers will continue to rise and possibly outpace the 18,291 evictions that were filed in 2019. So representation is needed more than ever. Right now, an estimated 272,000 to 552,000 Ohio households are at risk of eviction. Our capacity to serve tenants is restricted primarily based on the number of attorneys and staff that we have available on any given day. So the possibility of having 3 additional attorneys funded by Franklin County to assist tenants would provide a lot of assistance and would go a long ways towards making sure that more Franklin County tenants had representation and a better chance of staying stably housed. So we appreciate your consideration of this. And I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Any comments or questions? I do. I just have a comment. I just want to say to Kate, thank you so much for all that you all do at Legal Aid. I volunteered briefly while I was in law school and know how you make a difference in the community, number one. But number two, during this pandemic, as we've been trying to navigate it and continue to navigate it, I know that your caseloads are increasing and you do need the additional support, and I'm happy to support this resolution to provide more assistance to our neighbors who may be facing eviction. We already know that usually landlords have representation. They don't even normally have to show up, and whereas tenants do, and a lot of people don't even know where to turn or can afford assistance. And so again, I just want to express my appreciation to you and all of the attorneys at Legal Aid, not just in the housing space, but all of the assistance that you all provide to help our neighbors here in Franklin County. And so if there are no additional comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 63421.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 634-21 has been adopted.
Commissioners, I also wanted to thank Eric Janis, who's been instrumental in moving this program forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jobs and Family Services.
Resolution number 635-21, resolution approving amendments with the Community Mediation Services of Central Ohio and the Legal Aid Society of Columbus for housing stabilization services and legal assistance in the amount of $773,997.80.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bart Logan, Franklin County Job and Family Services. You just heard from Kate McGarvey about the vital assistance that Legal Aid Society provides for our residents facing eviction and housing supports as well. This resolution is going to provide additional funding to support housing stabilization services and legal assistance via a couple of amendments for existing contracts that we have, both with the Legal Aid Society and with Community Mediation Services. The amendment that we will have with the Legal Aid Society is a little under $224,000 to help continue to provide all the services that Ms. McGarvey noted, with an emphasis again on housing and eviction prevention services for an estimated 400 residents. In addition, we are amending our existing contract with Community Mediation Services to provide an additional $350,000 to support their work. Community Mediation Services provides TANF eligible residents facing eviction with eviction prevention education workshops, as well as tenant landlord mediation services. Since the inception of their tenant land or their eviction education workshops, they've had 90% of individuals served maintain their current housing or successfully relocate to find alternative stable housing and avoid the need for emergency shelter. Obviously something we want to try to avoid, those congregate settings in the midst of this growing pandemic with the emerging Delta variant. That additional $350,000 in funding and a total between the two and then the amendments of $773,997 will allow both CMS as well to serve approximately 600 additional residents. These amendments also extend our contracts with both Legal Aid Society and Community Mediation Services through the end of federal fiscal year 22, I'm sorry, September 30th, 2022. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
Any questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of resolution 635-21.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 635-21 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 636-21, resolution authorizing memorandum of understanding with City of Columbus, City Attorney, City of Columbus County Municipal Court, Pretrial and Probation Services, City of Columbus Division of Police, Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, and the Research Institute at Nationwide Children's Hospital for the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs guidance through the Blueprint for Safety, System Safety Audit, and subsequent writing of Unified Domestic Violence Response Policy and Procedural Manual.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Pearson, Chief Operating Officer with the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Commissioners, the Office of Justice Policy and Programs, in collaboration with the Columbus City Attorney's Office, was awarded an FY 2020 Improving Criminal Justice Response Grant to Domestic Violence from the Office on Violence Against Women. Financial assistance through this grant will support our community's ability to implement the Blueprint for Safety model throughout Franklin County by bringing together all the partners to create a more coordinated community response and enhance victim safety through information sharing and more informed collaboration among victim service, law enforcement, prosecution, and the courts. As stated by the clerk, at this time, the following partners have agreed to enter into a memorandum of understanding in support of the Blueprint model: the Columbus City Attorney's Office, Franklin County Municipal Court Pretrial and Probation Services, the Columbus Division of Police, the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, and the Research Institute at Nationwide Children's Hospital, and of course, Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Commissioners, by entering into this MOU, each of these parties are committing their time and expertise toward completion of the blueprint safety audit and subsequent drafting of a unified domestic violence response policy and procedure manual. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this MOU.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 63621.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 636-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 637-21, resolution authorizing 3 contracts for the purpose of providing outcome-based service, social service programs, advocacy, and activities that address critical needs in the Franklin County community under the fiscal year 2020, improving criminal justice responses to domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking grant program in the amount of $309,842.
Commissioners, in concert with the preceding resolution authorizing the memorandum of understanding between the various partners implementing this initiative, this resolution requests your approval of 3 contracts. One with the Columbus Division of Police, and this will support dedicated overtime for monitoring and enforcement of probation conditions of high-risk domestic violence batterers. The second, in the amount of $213,426, will be awarded to the Franklin County Municipal Court to support their ability to hire a dedicated high-risk domestic violence probation officer. And the third, to the Research Institute at Nationwide Children's Hospital in the amount of $45,509 to coordinate victim services through this initiative. Pending any questions, we would request your approval of these 3 contracts totaling $309,842 from the Improving Criminal Justice Response to Domestic Violence Grant.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 63721.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 637-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 638-21, resolution approving a sub-grant award modification for the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas to support pandemic preparedness and continuity of court operations through fiscal year 2020 coronavirus emergency supplemental funding in the amount of $105,673.
Commissioners, the Bureau of Justice Assistance awarded Franklin County and the cities of Columbus and Whitehall funding from the FY 2020 Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Grant Program to support prevention, preparation, and response efforts across the entire criminal justice continuum. The Franklin County Court of Common Pleas was originally awarded funding totaling $51,762 to support the purchase of video equipment, to outfit a courtroom and space at both jail facilities necessary to host video arraignments and other court proceedings. The court has requested additional funding in the amount of $53,911 to support the purchase of 8 additional video conferencing units that will allow the court to expand the use of virtual hearings to include live stream trials and other proceedings open to the public. The equipment purchased through this grant program is mobile and can be moved to all 32 common pleas courtrooms. This equipment has allowed the court to be responsive to social distancing requirements and the safety of all parties while still ensuring due process and that court proceedings are continued uninterrupted. Pending any questions, I would respectfully request your approval of this modification to their original award.
Any comments or questions? I do have a question. Just wondering why in the original award it wasn't for the total of $105,000. Like, why is there a need for additional equipment that wasn't factored in originally?
Sure, Commissioners, and I don't want to speak completely on behalf of Common Pleas Court, but back when we developed the original funding plan, we only had the funding available. There was a limited amount of funding that was allocated to each of the jurisdictions. Since that time, and we're about a year into the grant program right now, since that time, we've had some of the other agencies receive other sources of funding. And so we've been able to deobligate some sources of funding and therefore expand opportunities for additional funding requests by the various court partners. Again, I don't want to speak for the Court of Common Pleas, but I believe back when they initiated the video arraignment, we were definitely in the infancy of conducting remote hearings. I think they've had a lot of success implementing remote hearings, and as a result, I think they believe that they could maybe expand the use of the virtual technology so that it's available in more of the courtrooms outside of just the arraignment proceedings.
Okay, all right, well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Any additional comments or questions? All right, hearing none, I move for approval of Resolution 63821.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 638-21 has been adopted.
Thanks so much, Commissioners.
Thank you. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 639-21, resolution authorizing recycling of information technology equipment declared obsolete by the Franklin County Automatic Data Processing Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director of Public Facilities Management. Periodically, this agency is asked by the Data Processing Board to assist with the recycling of obsolete surplus IT equipment. We do so in a manner consistent with this board's commitment to promote sustainable principles in our policy decisions and programs. Pending any questions, we request your approval to dispose of this e-waste.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 63921.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 639-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 640-21, resolution authorizing an amendment to the contract agreement with Schooley Caldwell Associates Incorporated to provide professional design services associated with the planning, design, and renovation of the Franklin County Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court at an increase in the amount of the contract not to exceed $1,060,500 for a total amount of $1,574,500.
In May of 2020, Schooley Caldwell Associates, Inc., a local firm, was awarded a contract agreement to provide professional design services associated with the Franklin County Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court renovation project. This resolution authorizes an amendment to the contract agreement with Schooley Caldwell to provide additional professional design services. The additional scope includes design work to expand and enhance audiovisual technology in the Franklin County Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, for the water, sanitary, and storm piping replacement and the Franklin County Office Tower that is original to the building, and for the construction of a new Franklin County Prosecutor's Office property storage room. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this contract amendment.
Any questions? Nope. I move for approval of Resolution 64021.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 640-21 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a great day.
Thank you.
too.
Next is purchasing.
Resolution number 641-21, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,212,465.58.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Valinier, Director of Purchasing, presenting this morning with Marlise Wicker, Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 130 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. And Marlise will provide the SCDE data.
Thank you, Director. Good morning, Commissioners. This week, we have 15 out of 22 eligible purchase orders are being presented for award to seven women business enterprise, 2 minority business enterprise, 2 small businesses, and 4 LEDE, totaling $182,449.01, which equates to 68% of the eligible PO value and 88% of the eligible PO dollar value. The following agencies have increased supplier diversity of goods and services within Franklin County: Public Facilities Management, economic development and planning, justice policies and programs, domestic relations and juvenile court, the engineer's office, and the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Marlise. Pending any questions, Commissioners, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, I move for approval of Resolution 64121.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 641-21 has been adopted.
Next, Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 642-21, resolution appointing members to the Columbus-Franklin County Finance Authority Board of Directors.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dean Henderling, Clerk to your board and Director of Community Appointments. I just want to take a quick moment for those individuals zooming in or watching on CTV to note that this Board of Commissioners makes appointments within Franklin County to 41 boards and commissions to help represent the great work that this board does. For those of you that do not know, those boards and commissions are continually being reviewed and assessed for appointments by the BOC, and information can be found on the Board of Commissioners website on all of those 41 boards and commissions for those individuals that may be interested. With that, the first of my 5 resolutions this morning seeks to reappoint Greta Russell, Stephen Brooks, and Frank Capella to the Columbus-Franklin County Finance Authority Board of Directors, and President and CEO Jean Carter Ryan and I both recommend approval of these reappointments.
If there's no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 64221.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 642-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 643-21, resolution appointing Ted Greer to the Franklin County Infrastructure Bank Loan Advisory Board.
Commissioners, this resolution and working with our good friends at Economic Development and Planning seek to appoint Mr. Ted Gear to the Franklin County Infrastructure Bank Loan Advisory Board. And pending any questions, I'd recommend approval of Mr. Gear's appointment.
If there are no comments or any comments or questions? Seeing none, move for approval of Resolution 64321.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 643-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 644-21, resolution appointing Samuel Davis to the Board of the Franklin County Board of Development Disabilities.
Commissioners, I must very briefly note, Mr. Samuel Davis is one of the most enthusiastic individuals seeking appointment to any board that I have had an opportunity to speak with. And it is without any reservation that I recommend Mr. Davis's appointment to the Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
I would just second that. I had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Davis, and he is very, very excited. Actually, stepped back on another board and some of the duties that he was holding there, so it wouldn't be a conflict, so he could serve for this on this board. And then he has obviously a personal relationship with the Board of Developmental Disabilities, as he has children that utilizes their services. So very familiar with the board and very enthusiastic and excited, and was very emotional about the opportunity to serve. And so I'm very supportive of this appointment. It is my honor to support this. So if there's no additional comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 64421.
Great. Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 644-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 645-21, resolution reappointing Bill Gerhardt and Scott Kleiman to the Franklin Park Conservatory Joint Recreation District Board of Trustees.
Commissioners, working with President and CEO of the Franklin Park Conservatory, Mr. Harkey, the Franklin Park Conservatory seeks to reappoint Mr. Gerhart and Mr. Kleinman to another, 3-year term. Pending any questions, I'd respectfully request your approval of the resolution.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I move for approval of Resolution 64521.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce. Resolution number 645-21 has been adopted. Resolution number 646-21, resolution appointing Susan Brost to the Franklin County Rural Zoning Commission.
Commissioners, Ms. Brost is fulfilling an unexpired term ending October 14th. It is the intention of our friends at Economic Development and Planning to bring forward a reappointment of Ms. Brost so long as she continues to serve in good standing and with your approval. Pending any questions, I'd respectfully request your approval of the resolution.
Any comments, questions? Hearing none, I move to approve Resolution 64621.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 646-21 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Resolution number 647-21, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session for the purpose of considering personal matters and to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body.
I move to convene into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee, and to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce. Resolution number 647-21 has been adopted, and we are now in executive session at 10:31.
Commissioners, if I may, for those individuals that will be joining executive session, a separate Zoom link has been established. I will begin that Zoom link momentarily. For those individuals that have signed in to our normal general session this morning, they're more than welcome to stay on or drop off as they see fit. And again, we will start the executive session Zoom link shortly. Thank you.